welcome back. Welcome back to Coffee Talk with me, Karen B. Good rising, everyone. Today is Moonday, September 26th, 2022, and we're still here. Go figure. Every fall, they try to set you up for the fall. You know, big doomsday event. Almost every September, it seems like. But again, once again, nothing happened. At least nothing happened on the 24th. Nothing major. You know, just another day. Just another day. Let's see. Yeah. Oh man, I was just gonna say something and I forgot. But yes, say September 26th. Actually, today in my area is the fall equinox or autumn equinox, because today the sun rises at 7:17 a.m. and it also sets at 7:17 p.m. So that is in pretty close to equal day and night. I know they tell you it happens on a different day. Let's see. I don't know if they actually say... Did they give an official date? Oh, the 22nd. They say that equinox is the 22nd. That, for me, was 4 days ago. And that is about 8 minutes off of equinox from my area. Your screen says the 24th. Does it? Oh, let me fix it. That's what you get. That's what I get for trying to set stuff up ahead of time. Let me fix it. Thank you, Ted. 26th. There we go. I'm almost as bad with the date as Mark is, huh? At least I'm not over here like, look at date. So yeah, today is the equinox for my area. We all died on the 24th and now we're in 100% simulation. Oh, and then we're all having the same dream. Is that what happened? Oh. No, but today is the true equinox. Well, for me. It might be different for y'all. Because if any of you watched my video, equinox works best on a flat earth. You know that it changes. The equinox depends on your location because the sun is traveling between the tropics, right? So as the sun is traveling, then each area is going to get its equinox, its equal day and night, at a different time, depending on where the sun is over the plane. Over the plane. Yes. Yes. Sun came around again today. Again, good day. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me say hi to y'all. I'm going to go over to Rockfin and say hi first. To Tom Nixon, PsyOp within a PsyOp, Ashley Knopp, Carrie, Rob Cleveland, Music Guru, Sarah G, Brian Stavely. Music Guru is in the Rockfin chat saying David Weiss is gay and also a woman. Is this true? I think we need to have a Is it time for us to do a transvestigation on David Weiss? I mean, maybe it's long overdue. All right. And on the YouTube side, Ted Summer, DITRH. Didn't know it was 9 Jeranism Standard Time. Scott Hunter, Dean HD, Mellowdome. Oh, I guess Austin changed his name to Mellowdome channel. Zulu 1, Gmonk 003, Truth Faction, Rob Cleveland, Special K, Joel Lynn, Free Flow, good to see you. Dr. Evales, Dylan Shulgi, M. Malone. See you at Flattoberfest. Absolutely. Nicholas Pitts. 03 goes down, goes boom boom. Conspiracy. Chicago artist. Good to see you, sir. Martin Ellen. Good to see you. Dean F. Howdy there. Young Willie. The answer to all dreams of men and their machines is Camaro, I think. I like Camaros. I really like Camaros. I used to really want a first generation Camaro, but I actually really like the second gen a little bit more. But only the ones with the split bumper, the rally sports, where they have that big grill and it looks like a bulldog in the front. Those are the shit. Actually, let me see if I can show you guys. Let's see. Yeah, buddy. Watch like this. See these? Look, right here. That's tough. Come on. Get out of here. That's hardcore. Look at that. That's so dope. Look at that. Look at that grill. That's my favorite. I mean, the first gen is pretty cool too. First gen is pretty cool. But that's mean right there. I love that. Looks like a shark or something. I love it. I actually like that dark green. That's pretty. Okay, sorry. 70.5. Do they? Yeah. It is, right? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, sorry about that little side. It is, right? And it's so funny because now that they want to outlaw gas cars, I keep like thinking about like the biggest gas guzzling car I could possibly get now. I'm like, I want a truck. I want a muscle car. I want a gas guzzler now. Isn't it funny how that works? It's like they tell you you can't have something and you're like, well, that's exactly what I want then. It was 72 Trans Am. That's cool, Scooter. Yeah, right? Now they want to tell you they're going to outlaw electric cars. Let's see what they're saying about it now in the news. Let's see. Yeah, Californians told not to charge electric cars as heat wave. What is it? Singes state? Right, but then California wants to outlaw electric vehicles. The cost of using an electric car charging station in the UK has increased by 42% since May. So they want to outlaw all the gas vehicles and make everybody use electric vehicles. And then the grid is already stressed out. So the grid can't handle charging everybody's electric cars. And then, and not only that, but power costs are going up, so it costs even more to charge your electric car. So it costs more to buy the car because electric cars are pretty expensive because of their battery and everything that's inside of them. And now you're going to have to pay more to charge it if you can charge it. I mean, talk about a fucking clown world. You're going to pay more to charge your electric vehicle on a grid that's already stressed out and can't really handle charging the electric vehicles. And on top of that, electric vehicles they're insanely insufficient for doing any sort of heavy work. Like farmers or anybody who does any sort of heavy work is not going to be able to run on electric vehicles only because you just can't do it. Not to mention, it's a show. Yeah, not to mention that what was I going to say? What more needs to happen? I know what I was going to say. Not to mention that electric vehicles don't work in freezing temperatures, right? Because when batteries are frozen or they get too cold, they don't work. They won't release the energy. They just cease to work. So a lot of the country during wintertime ends up below freezing temperatures. So I don't know how they think people who live in areas that get below freezing are going to be able to drive electric cars. I mean, I just don't see this ever hashing out. I mean, they can't. It just can't work. Where is that? I'm trying to find that thing that says that, maybe they're starting to roll that bullshit back. Because I thought they were having a whole list of states. Washington State to follow, California, and ban the sale of new gas by 2035. Transition from gas to electric is picking up speed. California plans to ban the sale of new gasoline-powered cars starting in 2035, and Washington State officials said it will also adopt the rules. These people are insane. So 2035, so what year is it now? 2022. So they're saying in 12? Well, I guess it's almost 2023. So they're saying in 12 years, they're going to completely ban the sale of gas cars and make all vehicles being sold zero emissions. This is so retarded. I mean, I'm sure most of you know, but let's see. How are electric vehicle batteries made? Making of EV batteries. How exactly are these lithium-ion batteries for electric cars made? The short answer is that a number of rare metals need to be dug out of the earth from various mines. These are then packaged into small individual battery cells, blah, 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 but they don't tell you how much material needs to be mined, right? And necessary raw materials. Let's see, will they tell you? Batteries within a cell, batteries within a module. How rare metals are mined. The process of mining the rare metals varies depending on the mine. However, our electric cars aren't green sums up how some of the mines operate. At a mine in Jiangxi, China, workers use ammonium sulfate poured into big holes to dissolve the clay. What's left is hauled out of the ever-expanding hole before being run through multiple acid baths to dissolve other unwanted compounds. That sounds pleasant. The resulting compounds are baked in a kiln, finally revealing the rare metals required in electric car batteries. Just 0.2% of the result is the rare metals. The other 99.8% is waste. This 99.8% waste earth and other compounds, which is now contaminated with toxic material, is dumped back in to the originally created holes. Many of these rare earth mining processes also unleash plumes of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere and can harm aquatic life in nearby rivers and streams too. Finally, 50 to 60% of cobalt comes from the Congo, which unfortunately has poor human rights record, with 40,000 children working in cobalt mines for $1 to $2 a day. Well, that sounds pleasant. Wow. Little black children are mining the cobalt for your electric vehicles. That sounds very forward thinking. It sounds very progressive. That's the future, right? Is that the future? Okay. I mean, I think I probably could have thought of some better ways to do stuff, but whatever. The reason we are mentioning this in a making of article is because car manufacturers are rightly concerned about the chemical composition of their EV batteries, and they are working on tweaking the metal composition to reduce the dependence on some of the worst metals such as cobalt and nickel. Hence, the material list that we mentioned towards the start of this article might, or hopefully, start to change throughout 2020 to 2030. So, let's see. Myth or truth, we take a look. When looking at overall environment footprint of cars, there are two main components which need to be considered: emissions from building the car and emissions from powering the car. We'll look at these two components in the following two sections. However, there are also some other sources of emissions from the car itself, such as tire emissions, brake emissions, road wear and tear emissions. These non-exhaust emissions apply to every vehicle, gasoline, hybrid, hydrogen fuel cells, or electric. Simply using a vehicle, any vehicle, will lead to tiny particles coming off the tires, brakes, and road. These particles can negatively impact air quality, but they also stay on the road, and when it rains, the particles end up in sewers, ultimately the oceans, having a negative impact on marine life. Okay, so emissions from building the electric car. Building a car or any moderately complex mechanical or electrical machine will naturally require a lot of different metals. So let's see, how many metals? Mainly due to their massive battery packs, electric cars are worse than gasoline cars for both measures. Found that electric car emits 8.8 tons of CO2 compared to 5.6 tons of CO2 for gasoline cars. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, what? What? Electric cars emit more CO2 than a gas car? I've never heard that before. Have you guys heard this before? Said that it takes double the energy to produce an EV compared to a conventional car. Neither of which make for great reading. However, the same Ricardo research report also said that despite the high CO2 emissions at the factory, electric cars do produce less CO2 emissions throughout their entire life cycle, i.e. including the environmental cost of generating the electric for the EV, around 5 tons less CO2 overall. Well, that doesn't make sense. In addition to... But see... That's just from the vehicle. I don't even think that's accurate because, well, I don't know. How are they figuring this out? Because What is the electricity that is charging that vehicle throughout its life being produced from? Because whatever that is, that has to count as part of the emissions. In addition to CO2 emissions, there's also the matter of digging up loads of rare metals for use in electric cars. For example, lithium and cobalt are in short supply, so mining these en masse will deplete their short supply even further. Thus, the way that it is mined is not good for the environment. So, just the fact that 99.8% of the weight of the earth that is mined is waste, and then how many tons of earth, it's still not telling you how many tons of earth, how many tons of earth are mined for an EV battery. 50,000 pounds? Lithium mining. Hard environmental costs. The battery pack for a typical EV passenger vehicle requires 8.4 kilograms, suggesting that 1 year's Thacker mine output could produce enough lithium to energize 6.5 million vehicles. Oh my goodness. It still doesn't... Here we go. Lithium's concentration in ore at Thacker Pass runs as low as 0.2%. Producing 1 ton of the stuff for use by society entails strip mining and processing as much as 500 tons of earth. Over a single year, producing 60,000 tons of lithium at the site could mean digging up as much as 20 to 30 million tons of earth. Okay, 30 million tons of earth. $30 million tons of earth, so 30 million. So out of 30 million tons of earth that are mined, okay, for, let's say, for a battery, and 99.8% of it is waste, 29.9 million out of 30 tons, out of 30 million tons is waste. So most of it. So if the, yeah. So in a year, let's say this place really hauls butt and they mine 30 million tons of earth, 29.9 million of those tons is waste for what they mined for the battery. Holy shit. This is so backwards. I mean, what a complete inversion. Oh, let's save the planet. Let's go green. Let's be more mindful of the environment. And let's do the complete opposite of what you should do and just rape the earth more. Millions and millions of tons every year and waste it all. Just waste it. Soak it in acid. Put it back in the hole. Like, what are these people thinking? Dropped an article in Skype. Let me see. Green energy reality check. Yeah. As policymakers have shifted focus from pandemic changes to economic recovery, infrastructure plans are once more being actively discussed, including those relating to energy. Infrastructure. That's another discussion I've been having lately. The infrastructure to this country has been allowed to just deplete and age out of usefulness all over the place. And gas-powered equipment to mine the material, absolutely. Do you think they're mining the mines? They're mining 30 million tons of earth with electric vehicles? No, they're mining 30 million tons of earth with heavy, heavy machinery that uses probably diesel. How much battery? The ratios need to be counted because there's not that much material in a battery. Well, it was like 8. What did that one article say? It said like 8.8 kilograms in one battery. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, thank you, James Ritchie, for the tip. I've got Mitsubishi Evo Karen 440 BHP mean, but you know what, James? A Mitsubishi Evo. Me and Ted always talk about that. We're always looking, like, every once in a while we'll see an Evo and we're like, oh, we would love to get that and like make like the ultimate rally sport car, because out here in the country, you need a rally sport race car, right? That would be awesome. I'd be down for that. Those Mishibishis are awesome. Everything those elites want us to do is all upside down. Yeah, I am a master auto tech using a gas analyzer on a gas-powered auto. The exhaust has 0 CO2. Really? When the vehicle is running properly. Right. Oh, look, see, Ted heard about the Evo. He likes that. But what about the robust stakeholders? Oxygen. Everything oxidizes, eliminate oxygen. Yeah. They're just destroying everything. Let me, I also forgot to open my phones. Let me open the phones, you guys. In case anybody wants to call in.
Welcome to the conference center. You are a host.
The number to call in is 848-222-2480. If anybody wants to call and have a chit chat, the line's open. I will try to make sure I keep an eye on the call board and not leave you there too long. You can always tag me in chat if I'm not seeing you, but I will try to keep an eye on it. Best car you've ever driven? I bet. Those look so fun. They look fun to drive. But how much oil goes into the same mileage? The thing is that oil is never going away, but the field needs to be rounded any which way. Waste is waste. We will drive no matter what or where. Yeah. I just, I don't see a problem with using gas vehicles. You know, now that I know better about it, gas vehicles, there's no problem with that. I mean, the only thing that could ever be, easier is if you had some sort of vehicle that was able to just convert ether into energy. Wouldn't that be amazing? Or just extract energy from the ether. Like, it seems like, I mean, I don't know. Of course, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not, I don't claim to know everything. But it really, really seems like a lot of the stuff that they have us do is always the hard way or the long way. It's the hard way to do stuff. It's the roundabout way. It's the scenic route. It's not the simple. It's not the easiest way to do things. It's always going to be like the hardest way to do stuff. That's how they introduce it to society. They teach people how to do things the hardest way possible, right? It's like with school. What I noticed with the schooling, especially like Common Core math. Any of you parents who, anybody who's a parent and has had their child go to school and had to deal with Common Core math, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They teach Common Core math to dumb people down. They teach you Common Core math. Common Core math has all these extra steps put into it. Oh, you need to average this and average that and draw these circles and blah, 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 and all this stupid shit just to add two numbers together. They add like 3 or 4 steps into it just to make it more difficult on purpose, because they want you to think that everything that is done in the world, anything that you could do that could make your life easier, any sort of, anything that is technological or scientific or anything like that, they want the average person to think that it is too difficult. And so they train you in their bullshit schools to do everything the long, convoluted way, so that when you come out, you just assume that there are 10 fucking steps to do every simple thing that you need to do, when it might only be like 1 or 2. Does this make sense? I just felt like when I started homeschooling my daughter and we were looking at math, it was like, she was having trouble with math because she she kept assuming it should be harder than it really was, and I was like telling her, I'm like, you don't have to do any of that. It's very simple. I'm like, you're overthinking it. They teach your children. They are teaching us to overthink things. They don't want us to realize how simple things are. They don't want us to realize how easy it is to understand this realm and how things work here. They have completely convoluted and confused and fucked up everything so that we all think that that everything is too difficult and way over our heads when it's not. Karen, Paige made USA Today. Let's see. That's so funny. Fact check. False claim that NASA video shows NASA astronaut Karen Nyberg in front of a green screen. That's so funny. Oh, they don't show you guys though, but they put links. Do they put links to the video? Let's see. Ah! That's great. That's great. I mean, come on. At first it's kind of, David, this is like a blessing in disguise, right? Because at first it seems like you're like, oh no, who's going around saying that, this is something that it's not, blah, blah, blah. Right? But what they did is they gave you like the best free advertising ever. You're in all these, mainstream news outlets with links to your NASA exposed videos. That's funny shit. Why is my blue wrench gone? I don't know. Did you have one? I don't remember. There's no disguise to this blessing. It's awesome. Exactly. I know. I mean, it's too funny that they're all debunking this, but then they're linking everybody to your NASA videos. It's freaking hilarious. All right, we got some callers. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Hey. So I was calling you because I just wanted to simplify an understanding about what is happening here, because it's really very, very simple with why they're pushing for electric vehicles. All of the various things they're doing, it's not meant to make any sense because it's just a cover story. They're planning for a neo-feudalist future where you will, and then they've admitted, by 2030, they said, what, you're not going to own anything. Right? And you'll have no privacy and you're going to be happy. So the reason why they want these electronic vehicles is because in the future, right now the range is 300 miles. They get you off of gas engines. And then pretty soon they say, well, you know what? 300 miles is too far. It's too destructive for the environment because of electricity consumption. We're going to make that now 50 miles. And then eventually it'll be 0 miles, because the plan is that you're not going to be traveling anywhere, because you're going to be living in smart cities. and you'll have public transportation. This is the other big meme they're pushing in the leftist communities, right? That they're going to have public transportation everywhere. So you're going to be riding on the bus with these crazy people, right? And then, you're not going to, and you're going to eat the bugs, and you're going to have no privacy, and you're going to live in pods that you don't own, because that's the future. The future is that they want to return the society to a period where you live on the land of the feudal lords, and the feudal lords are just the banking families and their billionaire middlemen, right?
Right.
So in the future, you won't be able to travel because your CBDC and your proximity detector in your phone will say that you're not allowed to go within 5 miles of your house, right? Your CBDC, your central bank digital currency, won't work a few miles from your house, especially if you say things online or you do things that they don't like. And if you want to know what kind of is the plan, you can go on to YouTube or onto Google, and you can type in Absolute Zero Report UK government. And they have a report from the UK government. This is like one of these NGOs that's helping them fulfill their Agenda 2030 goals that they have, right? So this is just from the UK government, from their Agenda 2030 goals, right? So they say by 2030, all new vehicles will be electric. The average size of the cars will be reduced to 1,000 kilograms, right? Under flying, it says all remaining airports will be closed, right? So they're saying they're going to, by 2030, they're going to close all of the airports. So why is that? That's because you won't be traveling anywhere. You won't be allowed to leave and go anywhere. So it says under shipping, it says all shipping declines to zero. So this idea, just like they said, Macron said the age of abundance is over, right? Mm-hmm. So by 2030, they will not be shipping anything anywhere. And just for the UK alone, it says under food, it says beef and lamb will be phased out because people eat a lot of lamb in the UK, right? Mm-hmm. Along with imports not transported by train, fertilizer use is greatly reduced because they're not going to be growing things like you want, because you're going to be eating the bugs and whatever GMO stuff that they supply in from these mega farms that they have, right? Mm-hmm. And you could go down this report. They have a table inside of this Absolute Zero report. They have a table on page 2, and it shows all of their plans for 2030 and beyond. And you can just look at it and see for yourself what their plans are. So when you wonder why it is they want, well, I don't want to go into it, but I mean, I've seen the creators of this CRT, this crazy mathematics and stuff that they have in the schools, and I saw the founder on in a panel where he was asked why he was doing this, and he said because we want to reduce the test scores of white students. So this was the plan from the beginning. They want it so convoluted that they can lower down these test scores of white students because there is this testing gap that they don't like, and they want to make sure that white students can't perform anymore. So, I mean, you already see what the future is. They're bringing in people from India and Pakistan to be the new middle managers, right? All the new CEOs are from Pakistan and India. Mm-hmm. All these people, they're going to be the people who are going to be the new middle managers underneath the billionaires, right? Mm-hmm. People who have no connection to this society, who come from an extremely racist society where they have untouchable classes of people, right?
Oh, right. Yeah,
so
India
then they
is
come
really
over
bad
here.
for that.
Yeah, they come over here, and these are the people who are the greatest pushers of the woke philosophy, right? And these are people who are literally from a society where certain segments of the society are completely untouchable, right? These are considered the lowest of the low, right? Where 3/4 of the population don't even have access to toilets or running water. I mean, that's a fact. Mm. And you got 1.5 billion people in India, where 3/4 of them don't even have access to a toilet. So where do you think they're going to the bathroom, right? And then they come over here, and they're all hoity-toity, right? Because we're poaching their most intelligent people from their society and then putting them as woke middle managers in all these corporations. So this is the future, right? The
Mm-hmm.
future is that and of course you want to know why the royal classes, like these UK royals and all these people, love this idea of this neo-feudal society, because they want to return to a period where their class, right, where they are essentially elevated to the class they were during the Victorian age, right,
Mm-hmm.
where people lived on nothing, they owned nothing, they live on your land, you can have all of these people work for you for free, and
Yep.
you have a privileged a place in society again. So of course they're the biggest pushers they're the co-collaborators to the people who are creating this, right?
Yeah.
They're totally invested in this. So anyway, I just wanted to point this out. If you go find the Absolute Zero report from the UK government and just go look through the table, you can see what the plans are. So you don't have to wonder why this doesn't make any sense. It makes total sense to them, because they're planning on taking everything from you. Everything that you own, bankrupting all the middle class,
Mm-hmm.
really bankrupting even the nouveau rich, right? The nouveau rich they're not going to survive this, the people who are just the millionaire class, right? Unless they are somehow connected to these families and to these bureaucratic class that are their middle managers, right, in society. So, and of course, this is going to require a much reduced population. So, of course, they have these injectables, right, that are killing people off. Of course, they're injecting the pilots, knowing that most of these people won't fly, because they're planning on closing the airports
Yeah.
in a
Wow.
couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So,
Possible.
anyway, I just thought I'd tell you, just have a little conversation. I'll let you get some other people, but, the mystery, it's not a mystery, Have a nice day, okay?
All right. Thank you. You too.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. Yeah, I agree. It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. If you take a step back and you look at all of the things that they've been doing over the last few decades, and especially like now with all the geopolitical theater that's been going on, and to me, it's clearly they're clearly trying to do a shift in world power right now. Like, they want to remove the U.S. as the main world power, and I feel like they want to make China the world power. You know what I mean? Russia, China. More China than Russia, I think. But I could be wrong. But it really feels like they're trying to make the world power shift from the West to the East. And then, of course, now, they're trying to demonize white people and then make it so that all the dark people are the good people and all the white people are the bad people, which is stupid from any point of view. Like, in the past, they were demonizing all the colored people or black people, whatever you want to say, people with melanated skin, and they were, saying, trying to make it look like all the white people were the good people and all the black people were the bad people, and they got demonized. They got the shit end of the psyop for a long time, and now it's time for the white people to get the shit end of the psyop. All right, another caller. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Good morning, Karen.
Well, hello, JM. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing fabulous watching this place we call Earth burn. Yeah, that last caller had a lot of good stuff. He was spot on a lot of the stuff he was talking about with what their end game is. And
Yeah.
It's hysterical just to watch all the woke nonsense pushed. I'm like, you do realize these are the racist SOBs they tell you about. Try talking to your local neighbor. Your local neighbor, who's the white guy or the black guy, they ain't your enemy.
Right, exactly.
They're just trying to live their lives like most normal people are, and just trying to survive through this nonsense going on.
Right.
But you hit it spot on when you were talking about all the extra steps to do things. I ask a lot of people, I'm like, have you noticed lately for almost anything you do now that something 10 years ago that took 1 or 2 steps to do now takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps to accomplish the same task, whether it's an updated phone app, whether it's an updated program on your computer. no matter what it is, they've added these extra steps that don't mean anything except make everything more cumbersome.
Right. Exactly.
To suck more and more time. And it reminds me of that song. I can't remember if it was the early 2000s or the late 90s. Remember that song, My Life Has Become Cumbersome? Or I don't know if that's the exact title of it, but you've ever heard that song before?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who sung it. It was more of a pop rock type song, late 90s or maybe early 2000s, if I remember the timeline correctly.
I want to say Three Doors Down, but I'm not sure.
Sounds like a Three Doors Down song. But Karen, I have to call, though. I need to make a confession.
Okay.
I know I was a very bad person a couple weeks ago, Karen. Had an appointment at the IRS office.
Oh, yeah?
And I did some bad things at that IRS office, Miss Karen. You know, they have a security guard there. It was a very large black man, and you have to have him come out and, you know, greet you and make sure you're not there to cause any trouble, because, you know, people always go into the IRS office, I guess, to cause trouble. But I get there, and he's asking questions, and I'm like, yes, this is my name, and yes, I have an appointment. And he looks at me, and he goes, where's your face mask? I said, excuse me? He goes, you have to have a face mask to come in here. No, I don't. And he's kind of like, oh, excuse me? Like, no, I don't have to have a face mask to come in. And he points to the sign on the wall and goes, see what it says here? You have to have a face mask to enter. I said, no, that they're not playing that game anymore. I said, everything's been updated. And this was before, you know, the most beloved president of all time, Joe Biden, told people that the pandemic was over. Mm-hmm. This was about a week before he did that. And the guy's just looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm talking with him. I'm being very polite, very nice. And I said, you know, I was here a couple months ago to get the information so I could set this appointment. I had no trouble coming in without with something covering my face. You didn't have any trouble. Didn't have any trouble at all. And he's like, well, I'm going to go in and talk with them. You wait out here, and I'll see if we can even let you in. About 10 minutes goes by. And he comes back out, and he goes, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? You don't have to wear a mask to come in here. You do tell.
Wow.
Oh, no. It gets better. It gets better. Now, he's got a neck gaiter on, okay? Mm-hmm. And we're inside, and you got to take off your belt. You got to take all your shit out of your pockets. He's got to wand you and all this other crap, and we're talking. And he goes, you know what else? I said, what? He goes, we don't have to wear the masks anymore either. And he takes his friggin' neck gaiter off.
Well, good.
And it gets even better. Then he starts telling me how he doesn't have to bother people anymore to wear masks. Well, I was sitting in the lobby. He kept telling other coworker after coworker how they don't have to wear their masks anymore. More than half the people took off their fucking masks that worked there.
Oh, fantastic.
It was awesome. It was. I mean, then it was funny. I got to talking with that guy, the security. He was actually a nice guy, and he is actually awake on some things because we got to talking because I was basically, for a short period of time, the only one in the waiting room. And I just figured, I'm going to start talking with this guy.
Yeah.
And we got to talking, and it was amazing some of the stuff he knows what's going on. And it's like, okay, you do get it. Some, not all of it, but some of it.
Right.
And it was just beautiful to watch him basically not running around, but telling his fellow coworkers, hey, you don't have to wear the masks anymore.
Yeah. That's great. Good job, Jay.
Yeah, I apologize for corrupting an IRS office. I know I'm such a bad, evil person.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I'm almost I'm almost as bad as that Nana killer, that Brian Staveley. You're hiding in your home there, keeping him hidden from the foe attack.
Right.
That's some of bitch getting on planes, Nana killing everywhere. I mean, who knows how many Nanas have been killed across this great, beautiful plane because of Mr. Staveley.
Yes, I know. No, it's a criminal.
And then you and your big events that you hold, Karen, not forcing people to wear masks and social distancing.
Oh, I know.
I'll have you know, at the last one, I saw a lot of people that were very close contact with each other.
Yeah, I did too. They were hugging. It was great.
It was scary. I mean, the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I hope there's a whole bunch of people at this event coming up here very soon, and I hope there's a lot of hugging, a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and just a lot of people having a good time, and a lot of people sharing good medicinal medicine, for medicinal purposes only.
Absolutely. Yes. You're coming to Flattoberfest, aren't you? Did you?
I don't know as of yet.
Oh, okay.
I've got a bunch of stuff, and then with everything going on, because I don't know if you've noticed, the wonderful world of real estate's kind of doing a whole lot of twisting and turning with what they're doing to the wonderful interest rates right now.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
And they're literally doing this. They're doing virtually what they did back last time the market crashed.
What, back in 2008 or whenever it was?
Yeah.
2007, 2000.
Yeah, it's all self-created.
Yeah. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
I remember in 2006 when the market was rocking and rolling. I worked for a brokerage, okay? And we used to have reps that would come in from the banks all the time, every day of the week, because they're trying to show us what they have to offer so we can sell that to clients. And I was the only one in the office that morning. I was walking over to the board, put my deals up on the board, and I call him a prophet. I never saw the guy before, only saw him one time. He comes in 2006, and he's talking with me, and he goes, "You need to understand something." And he looks at me and points his finger at me, and he goes, "They're coming for your money." I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "They're coming for your money. You mortgage brokers are making too much money." What are you talking about? These banks need us. They didn't have us. We couldn't structure the deals, put the deals together, have the relationship with the realtors, and do all that stuff. And he goes, "You don't understand. You need to get involved with a group of mortgage bankers, because they are coming to take all of your money and drive you out of business, and they're not going to do it to give it back to the consumer. They're going to put it back in their pocket, and it's going to cost the consumer more money, and you're going to make less money." And I was like, yeah, whatever. Sure enough, the great mortgage meltdown happened, and guess what the first thing they did with all those rules? They came and took not all of it, but the majority of the money from the actual people that put everything together and originate everything.
Wow.
Didn't save the borrower any money. We weren't screwing borrowers. Nobody was screwing anybody. But they took all that money, and they actually, with all the regulation, they've made it more confusing and more difficult for the borrower to understand, and cost more money in the end.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
and the sad thing is, they're getting ready to do it again. The owner of the company that I work for, he does a call a couple times a month, with everybody, and he was going over stuff, and he goes, "You people need to understand that what they've done to your income, they're continuing to trying to do. Lenders, loan originators' income has steadily declined over the past friggin' 20 years. With not any ticks up. Steadily decline, not because of production, because of the rules and regulations they bring on that basically screw the originators, screw the people, and don't do any good for the consumers."
That's crazy.
Yeah. If the federal government had it their way, they would be in charge of all lending.
Oh, I'm sure. They want to be in charge of everything. Bastards.
They also want to be in charge of the credit reporting as well.
Oh my God. Yeah, the government needs to just go away. That's just my opinion.
People have no idea how much data these companies have on you, including the federal government.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they keep track of everything. I'm sure they know way more than anybody ever wants them to know.
I tell people all the time when they're working with me, look, you need to be 100% honest with me about everything. Before you do anything, tell me. Because if you do something and we find out about it, and we will, it's probably not going to end the best for you.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I said, look, it is 1984. If you do something with your credit, we know. If you do something with real estate, we know. It takes a matter of hours and days now for that data to get updated in the systems, where before it took months and years.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right, Jam. Hey, Jam, I got some other callers waiting. You have any shout-outs?
Howdy. Shout out, Notice Bear, the legendary Sue, and of course, Ted, who's, the poor man's just looking sickly. He's thin. He's got, definition. You're letting that man get all that exercise and stuff. You need to get him on shots, fast food.
No way.
And of course, the Nana Killer, Brian Stabley.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Well, thanks, JM. Appreciate it.
And always to you, Karen, and yes, Mark Sargent, which I know I said this on your Facebook, but it's clear that he's simply using your guys' Tuesday show to rake in all that money to drive the price up of pinball machines, because he's out buying up all the pinball machines. I know that's what he is.
Right. That's funny. All right, JM. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's see here. I'll get this next guy. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me correctly? Is my sound coming in good?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or is it like too low or...
Well, you sound like you're on speakerphone, but other than that, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. How about now?
You're
is that
fine.
Better?
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Okay. Yeah, that guy that talked about the 2030 agenda, that was awesome. Like, he's on point.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that all what they're doing right now is about, I believe, it's my own personal opinion, that everything's about flat Earth. Everything. Like, people, they're trying to make everybody not travel anymore. They're trying to make everybody move less. They're trying to make anybody not, go a lot in the airplanes and see what's the true shape of the Earth. And, the more people travel, the more curious they get, the more farther they want to go. And I'm pretty sure the more people right now are trying to go to Antarctica also, or the Arctic, and, travel down there or travel up there and see what's really going on down there, if it's really ice they have down there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to bring this point up to you. Have you ever searched in like Google Images the differences between the South Pole and the North Pole?
Probably a long time ago. You mean just in images?
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Yeah. Just like take...
Yeah,
Go ahead,
well, the images that they show you of the South Pole, if you search it, there's really not much there. And then all the pictures on their fake globe are all... You can tell it's all just, CGI'd over that spot. So...
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into Google Images and you search for the Arctic images, and you'll see like a bunch of ice caps floating on the oceans, and a couple of glaciers floating around. You're not gonna be seeing like a huge ice wall like the Antarctic, and so much. It's such a different
Right.
it's such a different place compared to the Arctic. And if you look at the maps that they have nowadays on Google Images about the world, you're not gonna even see the Arctic anymore on the map. You're only gonna see the Antarctic, and it's like the size of Antarctica is like bigger than all the continents that we have together. It's so weird. And yet people don't even question this type of difference between the North Pole and the South Pole. Like, I understand that we have a 23.5 or 23.4 whatever degree tilt, but once the sun, so if the sun starts, let's say on January on one side, 6 months later it's gonna be on the other side, and it's gonna have it's gonna have a perfectly equal temperature variation from one pole to the other. Like throughout the whole year, it's gonna have an equal amount of heating temperature from the sun, and an equal amount of heating normal temperature, not being in the sun, both ways.
Right.
But yet we still have a huge difference between the two poles.
Yes.
You know, people. Yeah, it's weird. Like, people are not even looking this up. Like, just look at the pictures. Like, look and go in Google, type in Arctic pictures, and make sure that, because they mix up pictures in the search results now from the Arctic to the Antarctic. So you look at the title of the pictures. Like, make sure you have the correct pictures up. Look at the Arctic pictures. It's all a bunch of like ice caps on the ocean water floating around like in pieces. And then if you go look at Antarctica and you type in like Antarctica ice wall, you see about 200 to 300 pictures of a huge elevated 200 to 300 feet continent. And the Arctic is not even close in comparison.
Right.
So yeah, that's a big like red flag right there. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But most people don't even think about that. But yeah, there's a huge difference. Like, and plus accessibility. It's so much easier to travel to the North Pole or to the Arctic Circle, and so much less expensive. You know.
Yeah, because it's a shorter distance, right? Thinking about the flat Earth, it's a way shorter distance than the Antarctic. That's why there's no flight down there, and you'll find videos on YouTube saying, why are there flights around the Arctic and not the Antarctic? They're not gonna tell you the truth.
Right.
They're just gonna like push some lies over it, and like, you know, they're gonna lie about it. I wanted to announce something, Karen. Me and a couple of friends, I'm not sure if you do TikTok, but Flat Earth is huge on TikTok, right?
Yeah, I've heard. No, I don't do TikTok.
Like,
I'm not on TikTok.
Oh, okay. So TikTok has this feature where you can search for hashtags, and it's not the type of hashtag that Facebook has, where they censor the hashtags. And if you write hashtag Flat Earth, you're gonna see about now it's about 2 billion views in Flat Earth. And if you put hashtag NASA, you're gonna see about six something billion views. So they're having a very hard time on TikTok to keep the truth covered, and those are really big numbers.
Right.
To be such a crazy lunatic theory, right? We have formed a group that we're building a first ever flat Earth world in a VR quote unquote gaming type of platform called Neos. That's NEOS. And it will be the first ever 3D, completely 3D, with a bunch of videos from David Wise, from Jeranism, from Terry Eicher, from 100 to 200 pictures of the ice wall. The platform is made out of a map called the Monty Urbano Map, and this map was a map that was made like 100 years after Columbus.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that map.
All right, awesome. So this map has about 25 explorers that he gathered data from, and he made this map. So the map has a bunch of mythological creatures, but the interesting part is that beyond the 90th latitude, southern latitude, he shows and he depicts ocean waters beyond Antarctica. Like it continues. So that's super interesting. So we have put this map, which is like 60 individual sheets of paper, which made up for a huge room of 10 square feet of a total map size that he I guess he paid somebody to hand draw the whole map. And I think it was in 2017 that a university finally pieced all this map together. And it didn't even take them 2 years to pay for somebody I think it's a large sum of money to pay somebody to place this map on a globe 3-dimensionally.
I saw that. I don't know. I don't know if you watched. I think it was the week before last, because last week I wasn't streaming. But I found that online. I found where they took that Monty map, that planisphere map, and they put it on a globe. I saw that.
Correct. Correct. Isn't that insane, right?
Yeah.
There's money for nothing nowadays, but they have money to put like a map, like a huge map that was just released on a globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have money for that, but it doesn't even make sense because there's waters beyond Antarctica. So it doesn't fit on the globe. Like, it makes no sense. So once you get into this world, like, you'll see the sun and the stars actually moving like 3-dimensionally, and if you bring anybody there, it's not published yet. So the world is the quote-unquote world, right? The Earth is up every time I'm online, because I'm the one that created the world with a bunch of other friends that knows a bunch of Unity and coding and stuff like that. We're doing the calculation together to make the sun and the moon move from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn correctly. But once you bring somebody in this world, it makes it a lot easier for you to explain them what flat Earth is all about, because once they're seeing all of this with their own eyes, instead of, talking about this and yelling about this and discussing and they see it and they'll be like, oh wow, that makes sense. So the Arctic is smaller and the Antarctic is bigger. That's why nobody goes. That's why there's no flight going down from this like South America over the South Pole and back down again up to Australia and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it easier with all the videos and images and stuff like that we have put in there. It's gonna be way easier for people to see it. But this is the first ever like 3-dimensional model of how the flat Earth works, and I hopefully. When I get it published, when we have the sun and the moon moving correctly above it, and when we get it published, anyone can come in and learn about this. Like, it's gonna be a self-running Earth, a world. They call it world because they made the whole platform for worlds, but
Mm-hmm.
we've made flat Earth there, and it will be a self-running system that people could just go in and inform about everything, how the compass works on the flat Earth, you can see how the sun and the moon moves above the flat Earth. You can see how Antarctica ice wall encompasses us. You can see everything. So once we're done with that and you're having more lives, I'm gonna come in and announce it so that people can go. I'm there mostly between 7 to 10. I think it's Central Time. Yeah, Central Time. It's the same time as New York. The same time as New York.
Okay, that's
Right,
Eastern. That's
Florida.
my time.
Yeah. So once you get into the world, the software is called Neos, and you see flat Earth up there. Just hop in and talk to me. Talk to us and see how it's working, see how it's flowing, and give us your feedback and give us your comments. That will be awesome.
So how do they see it? Is it through like one of those virtual reality game sets, or is it online, or?
Yeah, you know, VR is rapidly exploding. It's just that people don't have money to afford it, and people are afraid of I was afraid of going into it, but I'm not gonna be in there that long. I'm just gonna make this stuff, publish it, and get out of there because I don't want to be, you know, tied down to it. But I myself are not. I don't even own a VR headset. That my buddy owns a VR headset. The guy that's doing all the calculation and stuff like that, the map and the Unity owns a VR headset. You can go into it also in desktop mode, and it works perfectly. And you can interact with yeah, of course, it looks stupid because it's not like physical interactions, but how you see everything in there makes it a lot easier for someone that doesn't know anything about it to understand. Then you try to go and like make sense into him or her by starting at level 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once they see it, it gets a lot easier for them to understand how it works and how airplanes work. We'll be having like airplanes, like you'll have a remote in your hand where you can speed up the sun and the moon during the year. Like if you want to speed up the days, it's gonna correlate with the days also. Like it's gonna do it's gonna work on universal time. So it's gonna work for everybody. You can go in there and you can set the sun for your own time, or you can see it like everybody sees it. You know what I'm saying? Also, you can speed up the dates. You can do whatever you want. So you can lower the sun. You can make it higher. You can make the diameter that it goes around the North Pole like bigger and smaller. You're gonna be controlling everything, and we're gonna try to make it, of course, as not so that you mess it up that much, so that it becomes ridiculous and people start making ridiculous video about flat Earth, right? Like, oh my God, look how crazy this flat Earth world in Neos is, and then nobody goes there because everybody believes everything everybody says in YouTube, right? So yeah, you can check it out. It's called Neos. I'm not there right now. I'll be there like maybe in the afternoon, so you're not gonna see the world, but you can start like downloading and getting it ready, and once you see the flat Earth world, I mean, I don't know. Once I have it published, it's best. Once I have it published, you can go check it out. This is very simple, and it's not something that, it's not a software that's complicated. It's made like pretty user friendly. So yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'd be interested in seeing it. So whenever you can email me a link or send, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, whenever we're almost done. I mean, I have the whole. It's already set up. Just that the sun and the moon, we're getting. It's a bit like difficult with the calculations because we're working on like 4 quadrants and sin, cosine, tan stuff like mathematics that I've studied like 20 years ago. So we're doing this shit all over again. So it's taken a little bit, but I got a physicist that's doing all of this for me. And I'm just doing like the organization and the maintenance and keep the place clean and making it look nice. And he's doing all the maps and making sure that the sun and the moon moves perfectly as it's supposed to. So awesome. This will be as precise as possible. So there's gonna be predictions of the eclipse. There's gonna be predictions of the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse. There's gonna be everything. It's gonna be perfect. So there's not gonna be something missing in this equation.
Well, that's
this guy is so smart. Like,
fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you for the spot, Karen. Have a good day. I'll call you when we're done.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know how to build virtual reality games, so one that teaches you about how the Earth works would be really cool. I'm not a big fan of going into the 3D virtual reality thing either, but there's going to be a lot of youngsters in there. And it is true that when you tell people that the Earth is not a globe, then they go, huh? Like, well, then how does stuff work? Because that's all they know, right? So And I know, like, it's a big deal that, like, Austin goes around saying that, that falsification of the model does not require, replacement with another one. It doesn't, but it sure helps, because once you tell people that what they know is wrong, well, then all sorts of questions arise, like, right? How does this work? How does that work? What does it do then? What does it look like? Blah, 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 right? I mean, it's just natural for people to be curious like that. So I think it's good to give people some sort of visual jumping off point, because, as a lot of people like to crap all over the AE map, but I don't know how many of us would be flat earthers without it, because that was one of my questions. I was like, well, if it's not a ball, then what is it? What does it look like? What is how are things laid out? I wanted to know, right? I mean, it's only natural. So to give them a visual to see how things could work without it being some soggy space ball, I'm not against it. Not against it. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
This is Chris. I'm just calling to say hi. I've never called in before.
Oh, well, thanks for calling.
Flat Earth Driver.
Flat Earth Driver?
I drove Austin around for over a year.
Oh, Chris!
I want to come. I want to come, but I'm just like struggling right now. I'd love to make it. You guys want to send me a ticket? I'll definitely show up.
Where are you?
I'm in California.
Oh, okay. Are you going to drive over here?
Well, I can't afford gas anymore. I think the tour, we were on the tour and the gas prices were just going up. They were trying to get rid of us.
Really? No kidding. They just don't want any of us going anywhere.
I know. I can't even start the thing now. It costs too much.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm just calling to say hi. I love you guys. I miss you guys a lot. I wish I could make it to this one. But you said you're coming to California next time, or it's Vegas.
Well, I haven't decided where, but I definitely want to do an event on the West Coast. So, but I don't have a location picked 100%.
All right. Well, cool. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay. Well, hey, if you do make it over here, you're welcome to join us. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But you are far away. I don't know. If you make it, well, we'll see.
All right. I'm still working on it.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you there then.
Cool.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
All right.
Bye. Yeah, that was Chris. Chris is the one who did the masquerade tour with Wits It Gets It, where he got arrested at Mount Rushmore. Watch. Right here. And he made it onto this channel, the Audit, 1.84 million subscribers. I don't know if you guys saw this. Scientist gets arrested at Mount Rushmore as crowd cheers. Yeah, this is Witsit. When he was doing activism, remember, and they came and they shut him down and they arrested him. Anyway, poor Witsit. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, this is Logan. How you doing?
Good. Who? Hello?
If it's too loud in the background, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, you do have some background noise. What's up?
Okay, I can cut that down a little bit, see if that's better. I wanted to call in today because I went to Serpent Mound yesterday in Ohio, and I wanted to pick your brain on a couple of questions about it.
You went to what?
A couple things I noticed. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you having a hard time hearing me?
A little bit.
Okay, we can just go on to somebody else. I was just going to say I went to Serpent Mound yesterday, and I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you about, but it's all good.
Wait, what is it? You went to where?
Serpent Mound.
Serpent Mound. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's your question?
I was just going to ask you about like how it would be possible for those mounds to remain like so well manicured over thousands of years, if they've been there for that long. But yeah, I don't know. If we're having an audio issue, it probably isn't best to have a discussion on it. So.
It's okay. I mean, I can understand your question, but how would those remain a shape? It depends.
Yeah, like how wouldn't they be weathered down? How is it? There's like no molehills in it. They're just like perfectly. How did trees not start growing out from the middle of them and?
Well, do they maintain it?
Overtaken by nature.
Well, if they maintain the area,
Sorry?
then they probably keep stuff like that from happening. You know what I'm saying? It looks like they maintain it pretty well, so they probably keep it up.
Right.
But as far as the mound
I guess
itself,
I would just be curious, like.
Go ahead.
I guess I would just be curious, like, how, depending on how old they really are, eventually people just weren't there anymore. So I thought maybe, like, trees and bushes and stuff would have overgrown them to the point where nobody would have even found them. It's almost like they would have had to have been maintained the entire time through its existence.
Yeah. How old do they say they are?
There's like differing stories. So some people, pretty much the general consensus is that they're old as hell, that they're like at least a few thousand years old. But I don't think anybody like in the mainstream claims that they're any newer than like 2,000 years. I think everybody in the mainstream thinks they're at least 2,000 years old or older.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of things to note. Like there's just like this general feeling when you're there, that general energy and vibe of being there. It's kind of hard to explain unless you've actually been there. But yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but 2,000 years. That does seem like a long time for it to remain so good looking, so well manicured. But I would just assume that that's because they maintain it. Preservation.
Yeah, the only reason that really got me thinking about it was because as soon as I got there, I like stepped on the grass and there's this security guy that was like, "Hey man, you can't." He was real rude about it. He's like, "You can't be standing there." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I thought it was like you couldn't stand on the actual mound. I was just standing on the grass near it, and I was like, "Wait a second, those mounds have like lawnmower marks on them, like they're driving on them." So I don't know why he was getting mad at me for standing on the grass when they're over there literally mowing it. But.
Yeah, they would have to maintain it, because just look at the pictures. The lawn does look like it's like very well manicured.
And like I said, there's not even as much as like a blemish in them. There's no, like in the surrounding area, there's tons of mold, and so they're doing something. Or maybe there's something about the mound itself to where it's like I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't allow for. Yeah, there's so many questions, so many different directions to go with the Serpent Mound idea. But I mean, really, it kind of just got me wondering, like, how many of those mounds or structures like that around the world are just completely covered up by the forest growing over it, bushes growing over it, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's tons of stuff like that. They discovered pyramids that were all grown over in some places. And then they had to excavate the pyramid out. They thought it was a mountain, and then they went and they realized it was a pyramid, and then they excavated a pyramid from all this growth that was on top of it. So
yeah, actually, at the mouth of Serpent Mound, like where it looks like the head of the snake is eating like an egg, if you look way off in the distance, on the next highest like ridge, it looks like there's a like a grass pyramid, almost like something maybe could have been there that got covered up or anything. But I tried looking it up, and it's on private property, so I guess that's a no-go for that one.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
But yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain on the topic, and like, I don't know, I could add a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I was there and I found these pawpaw trees, and I harvested a bunch of pawpaws, and then it got me thinking, like, is this disrespectful? Is this what they would have wanted for, like, people to actually eat the food off the land? And then, like, what are the physical effects on me from eating a pawpaw that was grown on, like, quote-unquote sacred land? I don't know, yeah, so many thoughts.
Huh.
Do you have pawpaw down where you're at?
Not that I know of. No.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that the one where that
really,
one president in Africa tested it for COVID?
Oh, that was a papaya.
I thought it was a pawpaw.
It could have been. People get them confused all the time. Like, if you try to look up pawpaw, you're going to get a bunch of papaya information for whatever reason, but they're very, very different. But yeah, you should, if you've got land down there, you should consider growing them, because they grow really well in that climate, and they're super delicious, good for you. It's just a great fruit tree to have on your property if you have it.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's all I got for you. I'll let you go. Sorry about the audio issues there at the beginning.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for calling.
All right, thank you. Bye.
All right. Whoops. Come off a little bit. Yeah, Serpent Mound. That's weird. I knew about Serpent Mound, but I didn't realize they said it was 2,000 years old. The site is located on the edge of a massive crater, possibly formed by the impact of a small asteroid around 3 million years ago. Frederick Ward Putman studied Serpent Mound between 1886 and 1889. Due largely to his efforts, Serpent Mound became the first privately funded archaeological preserve in the United States. It sits on the edge of a massive crater. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? Let me see. Wonder if you can see that from Google Maps. So here's Serpent Mound. Okay. Here's the snake. So there's a pyramid? I don't see any pyramid, but let's see. How do you tell if it's on a crater? Where's the crater? Okay, I don't see a crater. I still don't see a crater. What are they talking about? It's built on a crater. There's no crater. There's no crater here. What are they talking about? Okay, well, whatever. Apparently, there's this Serpent Mound that's been around for a long time, and they don't know shit about it. I mean, seriously, come on. They're sitting there saying it's built on a crater. There's no crater. When you zoom out and you look at the topographical map, there's no freaking crater there. What are they talking about? Anyway, whatever. Hi, Karen B. I watch your show with Mark Sargent. Cheers, Jackie. Yeah, there's no crater there. What are they talking about? Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, this is Kyle.
Hi, Kyle. How's it going?
Doing well. Yeah, get to go talk to one of the fake station astronauts today. That's kind of on my agenda. If you had the same opportunity, what questions would you ask them?
You're gonna talk to astronauts today?
I get to go talk to an astronaut today.
Oh, an astronaut. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing a little propaganda campaign out in St. George, and like, ooh, and it's a meet and greet, so all the questions I can ask them.
Ask them how they withstand the G-forces flying up into space. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Ask them about
I was
pockets
thinking
of
about
gravity.
asking them about moon rocks and why all the moon rocks are black when the moon is bright white. See what they have to say about that.
Yeah, right? How come moon rocks don't glow?
Yeah.
If they've ever run into pockets of gravity. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's hard. That's a good question. What question would you ask astronauts? I mean, outside of like blatantly asking them what it's like to be a traitor to humanity. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not quite in an immediate rush to get kicked out. But
I know. I know.
Yeah, but I can still kind of really ask him some tough questions. That's my goal, is to ask him as many tough questions as I can before I get kicked out. And so one such question would be, just kind of about what does Mars and the moon have to do with the role of government? How do you justify $25 billion next year?
Yeah.
So I'll be very interested in hearing that answer.
Yes, exactly. It's 11:11, by the way, Kyle.
Oh, cool. 11:11.
Yes.
You can do your thing.
Yeah, it's playing right now. It's okay. Just keep
talking.
Oh, okay, cool. So, do you know which astronaut you're talking to?
Megan, I don't remember her last name. I'll say Shepard, but I don't think that's right. I forgot. So last name, I got it on a piece of paper somewhere. I just don't remember. I just know it was Megan something. So, yeah.
Megan MacArthur?
That's it. Megan MacArthur.
Megan MacArthur.
Yeah, Megan MacArthur in St. George, Utah, over at Utah Tech University. So.
Okay. Experience. Let's see. I'm looking her up now. Huh. Geoacoustic models to describe very shallow water waveguides using measured transmission loss data and genetic algorithm inversion technique. That sounds very complicated.
Yeah.
Spaceflight Experience, May 11th through May 24th of 2009. MacArthur worked as the flight engineer during launch and landing. She served as robotic arm operator as she carefully retrieved the telescope and placed it in the shuttle's cargo bay. The 19-year-old telescope then spent 6 days undergoing an overhaul during 5 days of spacewalks. The spacewalkers were supported by MacArthur operating the robotic arm. The team overcame frozen bolts, stripped screws, and stuck handrails. The refurbished Hubble telescope then had 4 new, rejuvenated scientific instruments, batteries, gyroscopes, and a new computer. The STS-125 mission was completed in 12 days, 21 hours, 37 minutes, and 9 seconds. Oh my gosh. She completed 199 days in orbit during this mission. So she was in space for 200 days. Oh, that was 2021. Crew 2. April 23rd through November 8th. In 2021.
Yeah, so I got to think about that. I'm like, I could ask her questions about orbit. And How does it stay up there? What force is keeping it up there? Why isn't it falling down? Why isn't it going faster and faster?
How does digestion work in orbit? That's what I want to know. I don't think their digestion can work properly being weightless. I feel like gravity has to pull that stuff through your digestive system. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
how does...
It's kind of like if you were to be hanging upside down like all the time, could you digest? Can you digest things hanging upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some questions I gotta think about today. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get through this as best I can. But yeah, I was probably gonna go with the government, just because I'm in a red state, so I'm going to play on all of the conservatives around me, get them to kind of appeal to that. Yeah. How are we going to justify that $25 billion next year? So I think that's a start. But yeah, I'm open for suggestions. Anyone else has any questions? You write them in the comment section. I'll be reading it before I go.
Yeah, think of some good questions for Kyle, because honestly, like every question I want to ask would probably get you kicked out. I mean,
yeah, I'm not going to go immediately with my abolish NASA sign, but I might do that afterwards.
Yeah, stomach acid. Bob had a question. Karen B. Inverse square law of light. Kyle Adams. How did the astronauts not go blind on the moon? There you go.
Yeah, that's a great one. I got to ask that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean,
I'll be sure of that.
Oh man. I would love to get what are they, they have the movies where they inject people with a truth serum and then they can't lie. I just want to do that to these astronauts. I want to inject them with that stuff and start asking them all these questions so they can't lie.
That would be fun.
Yeah, Bob's is a good one if she understands inverse square law.
Yeah.
How do you avoid all that space junk? Ask her about the process of re-entering the ISS and taking off her suit.
Why did all the astronauts have to wear? Why were they all wearing blankets when they got down to the ground?
Yeah, how come they wearing blankets when they're in suits that protect them from space? And then they get to Earth and they need a blanket. Why?
Yeah.
Why? And, I guess she hasn't been there. Well, ask her if she saw the Chinese space station being built while she was up there, because apparently they'd been working on it for 18 months. So while she was working in April of 2021 to November of 2021, during that time, the China space station should have been under construction. So there's a good one. Ask her if she saw the Chinese space station under construction.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Or if they see space debris when they're on the ISS.
Yeah. There's an old video that I just wish I had my hands on about the little tiny pebble just of space debris and just how much damage that thing could do to the ISS going at those kind of speeds. They're talking about like the size of a pebble and how like it would be like this massive amount of damage at those kind of ridiculous speeds. And, I just wish I could find that video, but yeah, so much stuff has just kind of disappeared over the years, you know what I mean?
Right. They already had one hole in the ISS, remember? and they plugged, the one astronaut said he plugged it with his finger?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was Pettit who said that.
Oh, but no, you know what? Now that's right. I forgot that they said that one of the Russians drilled a hole in the space station.
Uh-huh.
That's what it was. I don't know. Do we give you any ideas for questions, Kyle?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, somebody else says record it too. See if you can record it from
Yeah,
your
I'll do
end.
my best. I'll do my best. Yeah, I'll see what their camera policy is. I'll try. I'd be crazy not to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Kyle?
Okay, well, thank you. No, that's it.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for calling, and I hope you get your good questions in. Maybe ask about, you can ask about bubbles in space.
Yeah. I've alerted everyone around on the clock app, so I can, it's like, this would be a really fun time to show our numbers.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we'll see who else shows up.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. All right, Kyle. Kyle, try really hard not to be so nice. That's what DRTRH says.
Yeah, that might be kind of hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't give you that advice because I like that you're nice. There's plenty of people who aren't nice in the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, I'll catch you later.
All right, thanks for calling, Kyle.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. Red Green says duct tape will fix any ISS failure. How does a combustion engine work in the vacuum of space? That's a good thing. Actually, Mary 303030, Kyle, if you're still here, that's a good question. How does a combustion engine work in the vacuum of space? Because she's a tech person, right? If you look at her, Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering from the University of California, PhD in Oceanography. Well, don't you think it's funny that she's got a PhD in oceanography? She's a professional scuba diver because she also did volunteers, it said down here, at the Birch Aquarium. Here, MacArthur volunteered at the Birch Aquarium at Scripps, conducting educational demonstrations for the public from inside a 70,000-gallon exhibit tank of the California kelp forest. So, she's a professional scuba diver, which, you know, I could totally see how that would be a valuable asset to have when you're in space. I mean, that makes sense to me, right? She'll have a Google answer for that. Explosive. Yeah, I like that question about the combustible engine because this woman is, she's an aerospace engineer. She's literally a rocket scientist. She's a rocket scientist. So ask her about rocket science. All right, let's see. I'm over here. Oh, and Rockfin, I got another tip. Let me say thank you to Eric R. What an eye-opener about the EV batteries, right? right? It's a farce. It's a trap. What do you do if you have a leak? Well, you have a leak. How do you poop in a suction cup? If there was a crater, there would be a lake. That's what I'm saying. Raised by gypsies, because there's a river right there, right? So if there's a crater, then they would have a lake in the crater. We're taking steps backward in our processing. Everything is taking way longer. It sucks ass. Yes, Carrie. Slow creep, but the Agenda 2030 mission statement is at the top of the mayor's webpage in our small town. The real pandemic. Really? Yeah, completely content in your virtual gaming prison. Exactly. Like, they're gonna want you... Let's... I mean, I can go back to this with that first caller I had brought up, this Absolute Zero Report UK. Absolute Zero Report was published in November 2019 by UK Fires, a group of academics from 6 major UK universities funded by the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council. It is firmly rooted in science, but it is also governed by a practical approach to incremental change and the need of all of us to address the need to approach the challenge of achieving absolute zero together as a society based on technologies that are available now. Okay. And I just had this thought, this absolute zero. That pretty much goes against everything that we know about nature, this absolute zero. Does anybody remember being told when you were a child that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction? So you can't go around doing stuff without there being effects of what you're doing. You just can't. Nobody is going to be net zero. Net zero is a freaking impossibility. It's impossible to be net zero, first of all. So the fact that they're doing this and saying that you even can be net zero is a freaking lie. That is a lie. So it says, apart from flying and shipping, all of our current uses of energy could be electrified. That's really dangerous because electrification causes all kinds of issues outside of your intended purpose, right? Everything is electrical. We are electrical. Being exposed to too much EMF radiation can really mess with your physical body in all kinds of negative ways. We are legally committed to reducing the UK's emissions to zero by 2050, but there isn't time to do this by deploying technologies that don't yet operate at scale. What does that mean? But there isn't time to do this by deploying technologies that don't yet operate at scale. The policy discussions have prioritized breakthrough technologies in the energy system, particularly carbon capture and storage, but it is at such an early stage of development that we won't reduce emissions significantly by 2050. Evidence suggests that modern biofuels are incompatible with any wider sustainability on Earth. Evidence suggests. Okay, so that just tells you they're making shit up. Suggests? Well, that's not shown or proven or anything like that. They don't have any links telling you about this crap. Incremental changes to our habits and technologies. There are multiple options for living just as well as we do today, with 60% of the energy. Right, whatever. We recommend that you read the full 31-page Absolute Zero report. Wow. In addition to obeying the laws of our Climate Change Act requires that we stop doing anything that causes emissions regardless of its energy source. This requires that we stop eating beef and lamb. ruminants who release methane as they digest grass, and already many people have started to switch to more vegetarian diets. However, most difficult problem is cement. Making cement releases emissions regardless of how it's powered. There are currently no alternative options available at this scale, and we don't know how to install new renewables or make new energy-efficient buildings without it. See, it's impossible. They even admit that you can't go net zero. It's impossible. But they want you to stop eating beef and lamb because they need to make more cement, you useless freaking eaters. And if you guys keep eating beef and lamb, then we can't make more cement. Key messages for individuals. Big actions are: travel less distance, travel by train or in small or full electric cars, and stop flying. Use the heating less and electrify the boiler when next upgrading. Lobby for construction with half the material for twice as long. What? Stop eating beef and lamb. Each action we take to reduce emissions at home or work creates a positive ripple effect. Stop flying. Stop eating beef and lamb. Stop using heat. Wow. The impact of our traveling depends on how far we travel and how we do it. The most efficient way to travel is with a large number of people traveling in a vehicle with a small front, and we can all reduce our total mileage. Stop using airplanes. You guys, airplanes get better gas mileage than my Honda. Airplanes get better gas mileage than my Honda. Just saying. Take the train, not the car when possible. That's convenient. Use all the seats in the car or get a smaller one. Why do you have a car with 4 seats? You only have one ass. Go get a car with 1 seat. You useless eater. Choose an electric car next time, if possible, which will become easier as prices fall and charging infrastructure expands. Lobby more for trains, no new roads, airport closure, and more renewable electricity. Wow, so they don't want you flying at all. No flying. I can't believe that. Next time you replace the boiler, choose an electric, air, or ground source heat pump if possible. I know that gas and coal make that nice, cozy, staying warm heat, but you can use an electric heater. It's fine. It's just as good. Buy smaller, more efficient appliances that last longer. Is this a joke? Is this a joke? Does any manufacturer make appliances that are supposed to last longer? I mean, really? Do you people actually think that manufacturers build products that are meant to last longer? Because I'm pretty sure that's not a thing anymore. Or if it is a thing, you have to pay at least $500 for that thing to get a good one. Lobby for zero carbon building standards means tested support for housing, retrofit, and more renewable electricity. Wow. Most industrial emissions relate to producing materials which are made efficiently but used wastefully, so we need to reduce the weight of material made. The highest volumes of material are used not by households, but to make commercial and public buildings and infrastructure, industrial equipment, vehicles. Lobby businesses and the government to make buildings and infrastructure with half the material guaranteed to last for twice as long. Is this a fucking joke? Are you... Lobby businesses and government to make buildings and infrastructure with half the material guaranteed to last for twice as long. Oh, I forgot you guys can't even see what I'm seeing. Let me share screen. I forgot I wasn't sharing screen. I'm sorry, you guys. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Lobby the business and government to make buildings for infrastructure with half the material for lasting twice as long. Look at right here. It really says stop using airplanes, take the train, use all the seats in your car or get a smaller one. If you're not using all the seats in your car, get the smaller car. Aim to reduce the total weight of material you purchase each year. Are all of you keeping track of the weight of the total material that you buy each year? You need to start weighing all your shit and keeping track. And if it goes over so much weight, you need to reduce. Okay? If you're not weighing everything you buy every day, you're doing it wrong. You don't care about the environment. Lobby for border controls on emissions and materials, like we have with food standards, to allow businesses fit for absolute zero to grow and prosper in the UK. Reduce consumption of beef and lamb, as these have far higher emissions than any other common food. Use more locally sourced food if possible to reduce food miles. Right? Aim to use less frozen and processed meals, as these dominate the injury use of food manufacturers. Lobby supermarkets to support farmers in using less fertilizer. It has high impact. Oh my gosh. This is a joke. Confusion about technologies. In this report, we're using 3 different descriptions of the technologies which cause emissions. Today's technologies are the mass market products of today, such as typical petrol or diesel cars. Incremental technologies could be delivered today if customers asked for them. For example, smaller cars. Breakthrough technologies, such as cars powered by hydrogen fuel cells, may already exist but haven't yet captured even 5% of the world market. Isn't there a reason why hydrogen fuel cell isn't successful as a car? There's something about it, like it can't work when it gets too cold or something. It's even worse. I think it's even worse than the electric vehicles when in the cold. Isn't that what it is? Is anybody in here know? I'm pretty sure that the hydrogen fuel cells aren't used, because what you're doing with a hydrogen fuel cell, right? You're taking water and you're separating that into hydrogen and oxygen, and then the hydrogen goes into a tank and it powers the vehicle. But what happens to water when it gets below 32 degrees? It freezes. And your hydrogen fuel cell doesn't work anymore. You know, it's like they really, I mean, they want everything to come to a screeching freaking halt. They really want you people, they want to put you people back in the dark ages. This is what it looks like to me. They want to put you back in the dark ages. And in fact, I think that's what the dark ages were, is when they put people in the dark ages. You know, they say the dark ages is when people didn't really, you know, it was like before people became enlightened, or I don't know what they try to say the dark ages are, right? But they make you think that it was back when everybody was just a bunch of fucking idiots. But that's not true. The dark ages seems to me like the time where they were like, all right, you people are advancing a little too much, you're getting a little too uppity, we're gonna knock y'all back down a little bit. That's what I think the Dark Ages were. Phi. Yeah. Google says they work better in the cold. I don't think that's true. Let me see. They must have changed it or figured something out. How would they do that? But then you have to keep the water from freezing, right? Transportation and stationary fuel cells need to operate in environments where ambient temperatures will fall below 0 degrees Celsius. Surprisingly, little data exists to quantify the effects of sub-freezing temperatures on fuel cell operations. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really want to go on like some other tangent about it, but here we go. Let's see this, the PDF. Fuel cell operation at sub-freezing temperatures. That was Bush. This must be old. R&D. This goal of this workshop is to identify and prioritize the technical barriers associated with freezing or sub-freezing temperatures and to develop an RD&D plan to overcome these barriers. Okay, well, so this is talking about it's an issue and they have to figure it out. Fuel cells providing power despite winter's chill. Let's see. Hydrogen to power our buildings. Acumentrix combine their fuel cells with photovoltaic panels to power U.S. Coast Guard radio network towers in Juneau, Alaska. According to their research, potential annual fuel savings could be more than 750. So they had to use solar power to work around it. Supplies fuel cell powered mobile lighting to multiple markets. Many of their lights are being used in Connecticut to illuminate highway construction projects that must continue despite blah blah blah. That's not it. Toyota fuel cell fleet has logged millions of miles in some of the most extreme climates on the planet. Blah blah blah. Spent weeks verifying cold weather startup performance and durability. Fuel cells have been used in Alaska over the years with 1 megawatt demonstration at the Anchorage post office. Blah, blah, blah. How, though? Doesn't really say how. Anyway, that's interesting. I know that, a long time ago that was an issue. Well, okay. They still have issues with it, so it's not the best. But listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's nothing wrong with the gas vehicles. I like the gas cars. Also, gas cars, the other thing about gas cars, and the reason why I think they want to get rid of them too, is the ability for user repair, right? So like, if your electric vehicle goes down or breaks or there's something goes wrong with the battery cell or blah, 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 are you going to be able to do anything about it? No, you're not going to be able to do shit about it. Maybe with a hydrogen fuel cell, you might if you know about that stuff, but you're not going to be able to fix your own electric vehicle. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the old school gas powered cars, you can go get a part here, a part there. You can get aftermarket parts, and if the car doesn't work, you can tinker around with it in your driveway or your garage until you get it working again, and you can have a running vehicle. This is something you can't do with these newer technologies, with these electric vehicles, right? You're basically at the mercy of the manufacturer, or some authorized repair shop or some shit like that. You don't do all hydrogen, it just makes the gas work much better. Wait, oh, Ben's here. Hydrogen as a fuel in the mix is totally viable. Oh, I have a caller on the line. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, Alex?
Climate retards. Climate retards. I mean, where do they think these batteries are made? I mean, where do they think the energy comes from making these batteries that go in the cars? Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, it's like a lie rolled into a lie. It's not really a lie. It's just like it took energy to create the electric car and the batteries that go in it, and that comes from coal. And it's just like, if they don't want to admit that, it's like, well, they don't really want to trace it back to the source energy. And if you don't do that, then you're living a lie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course. Yeah.
Anyway. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. How are you?
I was going to call. I'm good. That wasn't the reason I was calling in, but I got one of those calls last night from a dear old friend who I've known a better part of my life. And it was one of these, and I'm sure you've gotten one of these, or like people out there that are listening have gotten one of these. It was one of those calls that felt a little bit like an intervention call, because he had seen a flat earth post of mine somewhere on the social medias, and he'd framed it up. He was like, look, I'm just trying to understand what you're thinking about. And then he asked this question, which everyone has gotten, I'm sure, that's listening here. He's like, I just want to make sure you're okay. And I was like, I had to treat it with kid gloves. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. What would you like to know? And I love this guy. I've known him for years and years and years, but I could tell that his voice was almost like it was an intervention call. Like, he was like, look, I don't agree with you. I know you think that, we don't live on a ball. But what was interesting about it was he was the one that called me, and we talk maybe once a year. So something got inside of his head to want to at least ask. He used his own little wormy way to get inside of my head to try to ask, look, it's not flat, but I just want to make sure you're doing okay. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm great. Everything couldn't be peachier. And I just thought I would share that with you, because I know a lot of people probably have gotten these little intervention calls from people thinking that you've probably fallen off your rocker because you can't find any curvature. And I went through one last night. So that was my night.
Well,
how about that?
That's cool.
What would you have said?
I don't know. It depends on the person. It really depends on the person.
I mean, it was a dear friend, so I had to sort of walk it back and walk around it and walk back to it, and then sort of drop some little things that, maybe he'd never heard of before or whatever.
Usually with someone like that, the Socratic method is the best way to go about it. Just ask them questions they can't answer.
I know.
If space is a vacuum and we have atmosphere on Earth and there's no barrier between us, how does that atmosphere stay on Earth?
I know. I almost feel like that's just too much for some people that have never even really thought about it. It's just like, I think they would just, their eyes would glaze over, and that would be that. Hey, I was thinking about something. one thing that I don't want to steer this over into the whole jet fuel thing again, but you were talking about, energy systems and, the climate change, quote unquote. Here's the thing that we didn't talk about that one night when you guys had the big debate. So one kind of little gnarly thing that pilots do that could be taken as a little bit sketchy insofar as how they deal with the fuel. All right. They never talk about gallons of fuel when they announce it over the system. Like if we had to dump a few gallons of fuel, before we land or whatever. They always say it in pounds. And the average person, if they hear, well, we had to drop 10,000 pounds of fuel, or if we're, carrying 30,000 pounds of fuel, the average person isn't carrying around a conversion calculator for pounds to gallons. So there could be something a little bit deceptive insofar as the way pilots talk about the weight of the fuel in the plane, right? If they said gallons, they said, well, we got to drop 150 gallons, before we land. We're carrying too much fuel. People would be like, 150 gallons? What are you talking about? That doesn't sound like enough. Or it's like, but they deal in terms of pounds. So it is a little bit deceptive how they cover up, actually how much fuel is in there. There's fuel in there, but, not probably nearly as much as people would like to believe. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but after going over that, myself and with Ted, who's he's got a lot of knowledge about airplanes and stuff from growing up with a dad who works at the airport and stuff. And we were doing some of these volume calculators on the dimensions they give you of the tank. I mean, they would have to be lying about the schematics that you can find online for the airplanes. And I'm not saying that they can't, but they would have to be lying about the schematics, because if you go and look at the blueprints of the planes and then you enter the dimensions into a volume calculator, it all kind of works out. And different planes have different fuel efficiency, and they also have different fuel capacities. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's...
and I agree with you on that. And actually, from my position, it was just more so they don't make it obvious to the average flyer. I mean, again, if the pilot talks about fuel in terms of pounds, I can see how the pilot's thinking of it that way, because he's thinking in terms of pounds because he's got to manage the airplane. He's got to get it off the ground. He's got to make sure he's got, weight distribution and all this. So he's thinking in terms of pounds, so that's what they say when they talk about fuel, how many pounds they have. Mm-hmm. And, that could be considered a little deceptive. I'm not taking the side of the no fuel hoaxers or anything. It's just, we never really talked about that. And since you were talking about, energy systems and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But that's all I have, Karen. I'm going to jump off. All
right. Well, cool. Thanks for calling.
Right. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. I don't know what that comment means. I don't want to read it out loud. That's funny though. Cheers, Wayne. Thank you for the tip. Do not get a real ID. All you need to do is say no to walking through radiation scan in airports. Yeah, that's the other thing. They're trying to get everybody to have the real ID by May of 2023. It's I'd be lying to y'all if I said I wasn't worried about the state of, or about the ability to continue having these events that I've been doing to the scale that I've been doing them, because clearly they are trying to make travel too expensive and too difficult for most people to do. I don't know if you guys remember me bringing that up, but they do. They're saying that they are requiring everybody to switch over to this real ID by 2023. And if you want to fly, you're going to have this real ID, or you have to have a passport. So I'll be able to get away with it a little bit because for a while longer, because I have a passport. And I don't know if they'll keep doing it that way, but they're saying for everybody to get this real ID from their state. They want to mainline everything so they can keep track of you no matter where you go across the entire plane. So, Dr. Bass Ackward, I've been thinking next year is going to be a doozy. 2023 is 322 reversed. You're right, it is. It is. You know, and I was saying this too, actually, at the beginning of this year, that I thought the next couple of years, I just had this feeling that the next couple of years we're going to be in for a bumpy ride. And I think that's true. I just looked up ticket prices from Houston to Greenville, and round trip is almost $1,000. Yeah, you know what? Okay, you guys, anybody flying to Flattoberfest, there's two airports. There's the Greenville Airport, which is just minutes from the venue. It's the GSP Airport in Greenville, South Carolina. And then there's the Charlotte Airport, which is Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's CLT, Clit, Airport. Now, the Greenville Airport is much closer to the venue, but it's a small airport with very little traffic, and I was looking up tickets going directly to that airport, and they were hundreds of dollars more than flying into Charlotte, which is it's like an hour drive from Greenville. Well, like a little over an hour. It's like an hour and 20 minutes from Greenville. But the prices for the tickets to fly into Charlotte are much, much cheaper. You know, but then of course you got to get yourself from Charlotte to Greenville, which is a huge pain in the butt. Yeah, I know. All I know is F flying with jabbed pilots. Yeah, man, I hear you. I don't have a driver's license, passport, or ID. I guess I'm fucked. Yeah. How am I flying Yeah. Yeah, Greenville Airport is jacking the prices up. It's GSP and CLT. Yeah. I don't know, you guys. You denied the real ID and the DMV lady was robot weird about it. Yeah, I think the last time I went and got my license renewed, they asked me if I wanted that, and I said no as well. I was like, I ain't doing that. Yeah, it's just like you only need the same things to get the real ID, but the real ID, the system behind it, the tracking behind it is different. It's more comprehensive than just a driver's license. They want to really keep you tabs on you. Concorde has 95 tons fuel capacity, over 12 tanks, plus one ballast tank in the tail. 2023 will definitely be interesting. I agree. Okay. Yeah. All right, it's 11:58. It's almost noon. So what else is going on? What else is going on? Oh, I know. You guys, I want to talk about oh, here, let me see. I have a sponsor for Coffee Talk. You guys, Paraplegics Coffee. I'm going to give Paraplegics Bear Coffee a huge shout out. Thank you for sponsoring the Coffee Talk with Karen B. He sent me all kinds of beautiful coffees that I've been drinking all week. They're fabulous. He sent me some dark roast that I really, really like. And if you would like to try some Paraplegics coffee and support one of our own, you can call or text 410-708-7622. When you just can't stand for crappy coffee. Isn't that hilarious? That's so funny. Anyway, shout out to Paraplegics Coffee for sponsoring Coffee Talk. Appreciate it. Good stuff too, by the way. And his coffee, it would be a great gift if you wanted to give it to somebody. If you have a coffee drinker in your life. If you have a coffee drinker in your life, it's actually a pretty cute gift because, you know, he's got these really cool labels, you know. They make fun of stuff. There's Helen Keller roast, right? And here's the raghead roast extra Durka. Oh, he's got different stuff. And they're funny. So, like, make great gifts for a coffee lover in your life. Right? So there's that. Yeah, another contract, probably, most likely. His coffee is lame. No, his coffee is good. I think it's good. I actually have been considering investing in a French press so that I can better extract the flavor from these different coffees. But I'm not sure I want to do that yet. But I've thought about it. Also, I want to say thank you to some people who sent me some stuff in the mail. Somebody from New York, Churchville, New York, sent me a check for $40. There's no name on there from you, but thank you, person, whoever sent that. I'll be sharing that with Brian, because me and Brian share that P.O. box, and anything that gets sent there that is not named, usually we just split it, and if you want something to go to Brian, you label it for Brian, or Ted, or me, or whomever you wish to send stuff to. Although most, yeah. So I also got another letter from somebody who is a watcher or a follower. This is really cool. It says, I don't know if you want me to say your screen name, but I won't say your real name because you asked me to keep your real name private, and I will. It says, Dear Karen B, the main reason why I am making this effort to send you something is basically to apologize for the attitude I had towards you when you quit Discord. I blamed you for it being such a shithole, and I felt that you disliked me because I was brought there by a person that I do not like. But I don't hold that against you. That's me ad-libbing. I don't hold that against you, person. Since then, much has come to pass, and when I heard about you quitting Discord and the evil shit that happened to Patricia Steer, I believe we are all on the same page again. Anyway, since you have the courage to post your snail mail address, I decided to take the opportunity to attempt to apologize, make peace, and be nice. I have decided to spare you from all the sob stories about how harsh and cruel life treated me after leaving Discord, but I will say that things are pretty good currently. That's great! So, he made me a bracelet, and it is modeled after my YouTube logo, and it also glows in the dark. Does it? Interesting. So you'll always remember. Anyway, thank you, sir. I can see it's like a little bird. Is this showing up? It's a really pretty beaded bracelet with little blue birds on it. Anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. And I appreciate your letter. And cheers. Thank you for sending me that. That was very kind of you. And I don't hold anything against you. Glow in the dark. Thank you. 16 Alpha V. All right. So there we go. Thank you to everybody who sends me stuff in snail mail. It's the coolest. I love receiving letters and stuff from you guys. It's the best. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool gift because, you know, things happen. You know, I've been in this for a long time. I've been in this for a long, long time. And a lot of, you know, just being in the subject matter, a lot of, you know, drama has happened and whatnot. So it's cool that, you know, people can get past stuff like that and, you know, and come out on the other side, still being friends, not hating each other. That's cool. I appreciate that because, you know, it's rare. It's rare that you find someone who's willing to apologize for stuff, and extend the olive leaf, as it were. So I appreciate that so much. So, Troll Central. Yeah, Discord is bad, really trolly bad. But there is a 24/7 Discord server that a lot of people go to and talk at, and I know there's a lot of you, some of my watchers who go there and stuff, and that's cool. You know, I just don't go there anymore. But it's cool. It's cool that you guys are doing your thing and you're waking people up. I know a lot of people get woke up in that place, so it's cool. You never know, you know, everything serves its purpose. What might not be good for one person will be better for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, you know, everybody has to find their little mini tribe where they feel comfortable, other like-minded people, what sort of stuff you feel comfortable talking about, discussing, doing, all that kind of stuff. You know, not everybody is going to want to be part of the same thing, if that makes sense. So I like that. You know, I really like that there's, you know, little groups of people here and there that kind of, you know, stick to their own area, but at the same time, they interact with other people and other groups on a civil level, you know, learning from each other and stuff like that. So. I could not send the B-Box for less than half the price of a new B-Box. I thought, you know what? Singe Man, when you said that, I was like thinking to myself, that's going to be super expensive to ship it. And I honestly did not expect you to do that because I thought that's going to be insane. But I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the thought. Maybe this winter I'll be looking at getting some bee boxes so I can maybe start some hives next season. That would be great. Hello, Cammie. Oh, by the way, while you're all here, I'm going to tell you all about here we go. About a stream that's coming up this Thursday. Let's see, today's Monday. Now tomorrow night I am going to have I'm going to be doing Strange World, of course, as usual with Mark Sargent. So don't forget, y'all, to be back here tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific for a brand new episode of Strange World with me and Mark Sargent. But also, this Thursday, we are bringing back the Bitches Brew. Bitches Brew is a Flat Earth Women show, or a show that usually has a group of Flat Earth women, and we discuss different topics from the woman's point of view. It's like the anti-sausage fest stream. It's a taco fest instead of a sausage fest. How about that? So this week we are going to be having, who's it going to be? It's going to be me, Rose 777, Cammie Nodell, and Jenny Rose from TikTok. Jenny Rose is the girl who started who does the flat earth stuff on TikTok. She was on Jaren's stream a little bit. So yeah, everything. So we'll be having that go on this Thursday. I'm not entirely sure exactly what we'll be discussing, but it's going to be fun. I know that. We're going to have Jenny Rose and Cammie and me, and it'll be fun. Clam bake. Yeah, I like that. No, we'll have Beth on another show. It's not. Here's the thing with Bitches Brew. Okay, like before, where we were having it 6, I felt like 6 people is kind of a lot to have on one panel, because then some people don't get enough time to talk, and it becomes like a little bit too much. So I thought about it, and so for Bitches Brew, we're going to keep it to 4 at a time, and we'll just cycle the people out. We'll just cycle everyone out, and we'll bring Beth back. We'll bring Steffi P back. We're going to bring, different people in at different times. But just this one, it just happened to work out because I messaged Rose and I was like, if I set up a Bitches Brew with 4 people, do you want in? And then she said, yes. And can we invite Jenny Rose? And I was like, of course, yes. So that's how it ended up. So this Thursday, it'll be me, Cammie, Rose, and Jenny Rose. And then when we do the next Bitches Brew, we'll just cycle it out. We'll do more people. Like it'll be we'll most likely always have me if I'm hosting, and then 3 other women. Typically either Cammie or Rose or Beth or Steffi or, some other ladies that we may find. Yeah. Taco Thursday. Yeah, mix and match guests 4 at a time, changing it around. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Oh, I have more callers. All right. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hi, Karen. It's Najla.
Hi, Najla. How are you?
Good. I was calling because you were talking about clicks. Well, not clicks, but people groups, gathering with the people that they like, but we all come together for bigger events. But
yes,
everybody's gonna find their own niche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share with everyone. I know I was talking to you about this, that at Blacktoberfest, James and I will have a guest book, and we're gonna have one section where we'll be collecting contact info of women who are super passionate about their skills in with children or raising children, and just know they have time and wisdom to impart on younger women. And one of the main reasons I'm doing this is because I kind of suffer from mom guilt. And it's especially when it comes to homeschooling from scratch. I call it from scratch because all the moms I know in my family, they had their children in daycare or public schools, and the few I do know who are homeschooling, their children started in school, so they already had the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And as a mom, yeah, and as a mom of a late talker, I feel a little lost sometimes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and even I've been a mom for 3 years now, and 2 of the 3 years were spent in isolation from all of our government compliant friends and family in New York.
Oh, right.
And yeah, so it's I feel those 2 years don't even count because I find myself now in social situations that my children never had a chance to grow through. And it's aside from my sisters, I didn't spend any time with newborn babies until I had my first at age 29. So I'm a fish out of water.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What do you mean, like a homeschooling mom support group? Like a flat earth homeschool mom support group? Is that what you're thinking of? Something like that, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking something where we can just collect maybe social media contacts to start off small, something people don't mind being public. And it would be a woman, there's so many different things, like not just homeschooling, not just whatever, but even just like little like behavioral things. Like sometimes like you feel like I feel a pressure like I'm supposed to know what to do in every situation, like supermom status. So like sometimes I like, I just throwing out my best guess, and I'm like, I could literally have like somebody I can call who's been through this. And then you think about how each baby is different. So then that's hard because each child is different. And so it's just like anybody who's like very passionate and knows they're really good at it. Like even if you don't have children, like, because my sister, she's like naturally a baby person even before she had like a baby. Like even if you're a person like that and you want to be a part of this and help out, moms like us, and then I eventually maybe get like a cheap website where people can connect, and like whether it's for a fee or whatever, you make your own choice. But I'm thinking I'll just start off with like a small like shareable Google Sheets thing. And I'm also hoping to eventually start our own astrological research on the needs and temperaments of our children. And like if we start logging like all of our experiences and like the date and times of all of our children, the people a part of it, we can start to see like whether there's a pattern of them following more of the tropical or the Vedic astrology. So I'm all over the place, but
that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
so if there's anybody,
yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, I'm good. Go.
Well, I was just gonna say, after I interviewed Erin on Flat Earth Astrology the other day, I was thinking about asking her to do a reading for me and for my children all together, like a family astrology reading. Because like what you're saying with like, that's actually a thing where people will get the charts of their children who were born, so that they can see in the chart like what, get an idea of the personality or what they can do to sort of nurture their child. Because, everybody's got different wants and needs. So a lot of people, that is a thing where people go and they get the chart of their child read or done so that they can get an insight as to who their child is going to be or what influences are going to be over their child. And also there's a thing called progressions. And if Hank and Mari are in my chat, like they usually are, Mari's the one who told me about this. It's called progressions, where it's like you look at every year where the planets are in every solar return for your child, and it sort of gives you an idea of like their life path. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
does that make sense?
This stuff is like,
yeah.
I think this is the closest thing us moms are going to get to cheat codes.
Exactly.
Astrology.
It is kind of like a cheat code. It's like, people get all freaked out about astrology and tarot, like, oh, it's witchcraft and you're blah, blah, blah. But it's totally not, because we're not predicting the future and we're not trying to talk to dead people. And very specifically, that's what witchcraft is in scripture. So we're not predicting future. We can't predict the future. All you can do is say, well, this is going to be in play and the energies might be leaning towards this happening and you might be feeling this way. So just be mindful of that. And, and it just gives you an idea of how to take special care with yourself during certain times. It's not predicting anything. It's not telling anybody's future. It's just giving you like some direction or some heads up or some sort of just information about what's going on and certain energies at play. So.
Okay. And then last but not least, I just want to say how excited I am for Flattoberfest. And I don't know, I feel like it's going to be amazing. And I don't know if you have like some, like, if this would be a surprise or not, but remember like last year I was like all pumped and like I wanted to like kind of elevate and like do that idea you had. I don't know if it's like a secret. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I think so.
Is that going to be a thing? Is that a secret, or can I say it or no? Or
I actually haven't decided
I'm
yet.
excited.
I haven't.
Okay.
Because right now I'm in the middle of like getting all that stuff together. Like this is my crash my crash month, like right here, leading up to the event. This is when I'm like, okay, now I got to focus on visual stuff, XYZ stuff for that's actually going to play at the event, because like planning it and reservations and blah 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 and all that stuff's all over with now. So.
Okay. Well, if you do that, you can always like make me do some stuff for it if you want me to like do anything or I'm your girl.
All right, I will keep that in mind. I may hit you up.
All right. Have a sweet Monday, everybody.
Yes, thank you for calling.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Najla, everyone, of Grounded Extracts. The N in N and J. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Karen, it's David.
Hi,
show
David.
Today.
Thanks. What's up?
Just want to say, looking forward to Flattoberfest, but I wanted to say that Jaron, Austin, and I are going to be having round 2 with Professor Bryant this Thursday at 8:15 p.m.
Oh, I hate you guys. I hate
I'm
you.
just kidding. That's all. I'm just kidding. It's not happening.
I was going to be
all.
like, you know what? Fuck it. I give up.
That's all. It's not happening. It's not happening this week. It will happen in a few weeks, but it's not happening this week. That's all. I just wanted to amuse myself. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. David said that because last time that they all did that debate against that guy, I was doing my Flat Earth astrology stream and I had like 40 people in chat because there was 1,100 people in Jaren's chat for that guy. And you know what? You know why I didn't even consider it, David, when I set that stream up, when you told me about that? I thought it was just some guy. I didn't know that this guy was like a physics teacher or like some educator. I thought it was just some guy who was dumb enough to go on the stream with you guys. And then it turned out to be a teacher. And well, then like nobody saw my Flat Earth astrology stream. That's okay. That's okay. Whatever. That's why when he said that, I was like, oh, I hate you. But anyways, if you guys missed that, the Flat Earth astrology stream, you should go check it out. It's got some good information in it. I'd like to have Erin back again. She is really cool. And maybe I could have her when there's actually people in the chat and we could take some calls. I felt so bad there was like nobody around because everybody was watching that debate. Just shout it out at Flattoberfest. Flattoberfest will be... Shout what out at Flattoberfest? The reason they opened the schools back up quick was because the kids were learning too much at home about how crap the government is. Right? I'm in some homeschooling groups for North Carolina, actually, Najla. And if you want me to add you to it's a Cleveland County. Well, probably won't help you if it's from my county, but you can look up homeschooling groups for your county. You're in Spartanburg, so I would just like go into Facebook and search up Spartanburg County homeschool support and see if any groups come up, because there's usually a lot of homeschool groups on there, and they'll like be moms in there posting about, you know, whatever, wanting to, you know. It was awful. I needed to be in both streams and missed the best part of both, Cammy. Karen is triggered by FE. You know what? What do you mean? What does that mean? I used to party with Erin. Oh, that's right, Dr. Bass Ackward. You're the one who called and said you went to high school with her. That's so funny. Yeah, she's in Santa Cruz. She's right there by my old stomping grounds, man. It's funny because I grew up in California in the San Francisco Bay Area, and there's a lot of flat earthers over there. And you know, part of me is like, man, I wish I was still there, because it's a great place to do flat earth observations and stuff like that. But realistically, I don't want to fucking live in California again. I don't care if I never live in California ever again, and that's sad. I used to feel like I would never leave California. I loved it there. I loved growing up there. I mean, it's a great place. Like, the beach is there, the mountains are there, the woods are there. I mean, the weather's great. I mean, it's a great place to live. But then as I got older, it just became so crowded and so expensive that I couldn't even enjoy living there anymore. You spend so much time working, and then everything is so expensive that you can't even freaking live anymore unless you're a millionaire or you've been there, already been living there for 30 something years before everything went to shit. You know, it just doesn't work. So yeah, I was mad at Dave. No, I wasn't mad at Dave. It was just poor timing because it happened to be when when they were debating that physics teacher guy, and, you know, everybody, and you know how flat earthers are when somebody debates, like, somebody who has ties to mainstream science or somebody who has ties to the educational system. You know, we want blood. We want blood. So, you know, it is what it is. Deborah E. Hi, Karen. I've been homeschooling my 3 since they were born, 13, 12, and 10. Not easy, but rewarding. Exactly. You're right. It's not easy. It can be a struggle because, you know, children don't want to listen to their mom, blah, 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 and they, you know, whatever. But it is extremely rewarding. It can be extremely rewarding, you know. And, you know, it just allows you so much flexibility too. You get to spend so much more time with your children. Just the benefits way outweigh any sort of con. There really isn't a con, other than it's just, it can be difficult at times, but I mean, that's just life. Life is difficult at times. Aaron is awesome. Not enough women doing flat earth content. I agree, Holly. I agree. This is Mari. We are plants that blossom at certain timing. Progressions we need to see. Okay, see? Yes. You know, I'm trying to bring you some more flat earth women content. I do my best. I try. I try to represent. I try to represent. Okay, well, it is 12:30. I think I'm going to wrap it up. You guys don't forget to set your reminder for Bitches Brew. Bitches Brew, Thursday at 8:30 p.m. And David, please don't schedule any debates at that time. I'm just kidding. So there you go. And then also, of course, Strange World tomorrow at 10 p.m. with Mark Sargent. And all the regular stuff that I be doing all the time. And you guys, Flattoberfest. Last Flattoberfest for the foreseeable future, you guys. Last Flattoberfest. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but it won't be... I know that it won't be on the East Coast next year. If I do an event, it will be West Coast next year. So this is last Flattoberfest in Greenville for the foreseeable future, you guys. So you don't want to miss it. Speakers and performers. We're going to have Mark Sargent, Austin Whitsitt, Sean Griffin, Benjamin Balderson, One Big Love, Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms, Zach and Cammy with How the World Works exhibit. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Marty Leeds of GnosticAcademy.org. Austin and Kai will be playing music. Jason Lindgren of the Crow 777 Show and Secrets of Saturn podcast will also be there. Kelsey from Meet Flat Earthers, I believe, is coming as well. Suzanne will be there with her Truth Smacks booth. N and J, Najla and James of Grounded Extracts will be there with their wonderful products. Yes, David Weiss, the creator of the Flat Earth Clock app, will be there. And also I've got Joelle Lynn listed here as an exhibitor, and I have some others too. Maybe I'll see if I can list more on the website, but there's going to be all kinds of stuff going on there. We're going to have lots of giveaways, raffles, music, presentations, fellowship, food. Dr. Law will be there with the Kakalaki crew cooking up his food again this year. The venue also has food, although some people say it's not so great, but they do have a kitchen. So we'll have that and Dr. Law. There's not a lot of places within walking distance of the venue, but there are some places that are a short drive away. So if you have a vehicle, you'll be able to get out for lunch. But if not, we've got some food available at the venue as well. So that's what's going on. Let's look at the schedule. Okay, Friday, October 21st, meetup at Herd Klotz Park. This is the big park across the street from the venue. We have it rented from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's got a big gazebo with power, and there are barbecues there. So all day long, there'll be people there. We'll be making music, making food, hanging out all day long. And I'm also going to be doing early registration at the park. So if you buy your ticket ahead of time, you'll be able to go to this park the day before, and we'll get you your lanyards and get you all set up for the event so that the next day when you show up, you don't have to worry about anything. You can just get right to it. Okay. And then Saturday, the 22nd at the Greenville Shrine Club Center from 12 p.m. until midnight, we'll be having stuff go on. And then also Sunday from 12 p.m. till midnight, we're going to be doing presentations and everything the first part of the day. And then in the evening, we'll switch it up to music. So we'll have live music starting after 8 p.m. and presentations and everything up until 8 p.m. with the dinner break happening between 5 and 6:30 p.m. on both days. On day 2, on Sunday, we will be having a live Q&A with the speakers, okay, and everybody there. We'll put Bob up on stage too. Bob's not doing a presentation this year, but he will be there, and I'm going to put him up there for Q&A. Okay? Bob's not getting out of Q&A, but he likes that part. I think Bob likes Q&A. And I've also made sure to block out a good 2-hour chunk there for Q&A. So I know before it's kind of gotten cut short, so we can do that. And then right after Q&A, we're just going to get right into the partying and close the event out with Jason Lindgren and Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms. Chief Crow does an amazing, amazing performance, by the way. You guys are going to love it. He's super talented. He's like a one-man band, although he is bringing one of the Earthworms with him this time. And he will also be DJing throughout the entire event. He'll be like doing some filler for us and stuff. It's going to be fun, you guys. It's really going to be a great time. The FEICs were called conferences. I could call this a conference, but I really don't feel like it's a conference. It's definitely more of a festival. It's definitely more of a fun, loose vibe. And I like that. I don't really care for the ultra stuffy, super formal events so much. I think it's important to keep your humanity, to keep your sense of humor, and to, really enjoy yourself at these things and be able to express yourself. So I don't really like the whole stuffy, uptight vibe. I like the looser, more enjoyable, freer vibe. That's more my style. I like that eclectic. I like to get a nice eclectic group of people together and just hear all of the different points of views and conversations that happen as an effect of it. So if you haven't been to a Flattoberfest, you really should go to this one. It's the last one. And then we'll see what happens next year. Okay? So also, if you go to the website, here it says Flattoberfest, and then under the Flattoberfest menu, you got buy tickets, speakers and performers, the schedule, and hotel and camping info as well. If you want to know where the best place are, where the hotels are that everybody's staying, I've got them listed here. There's also campgrounds listed here. Paris Mountain Park is the nearest park to the venue, but there's also other campgrounds like Rainbow Campgrounds and stuff nearby. If you're camping, if you need hookups, okay, there's campgrounds nearby with hookups. Also, if you go to my website and you go to this hotel tab, you'll see this picture right here. It says Flattoberfest 2022 with the Telegram group. If you click this, it takes you to the Telegram group, okay, that I have set up for carpool and connection and information. So if you click that, you can join the Flattoberfest 2022 info and carpool connection, where people are getting together for carpooling and also planning, maybe sharing Airbnbs or hotels to reduce their travel costs. So if you need to if you're looking for something like that, I have a group set up like that for y'all to communicate in. Okay? So that's what's up. What else? This year's ticket price includes your t-shirt. So when you go to buy your ticket, don't forget to put your shirt size in the field there. And if you want your name different than your purchase, the name you purchase under tickets for to be different on your lanyard, then you put your lanyard name here, and we will do our best to make sure your lanyard has the correct name on it. All right. I think that's it for Flattoberfest. Yes, and there will be karaoke at the bar Friday night, in the bar that is in the Shrine Club back behind the venue. Oh, one more thing. For all you singles, I know people were asking me if I was going to be having the singles mingle this year. And I decided that the single mingle I did last year, the secret single mingle, was rather unsuccessful, right? It didn't work out so great because people couldn't find each other. And it was just, I think it was a little bit too secret. So this year we're doing the opposite. We're just going to put where I have these buttons being made. I ordered these buttons. They're just like the little flat earther buttons that we get all the time, like this, right? Like just a little button like this. It'll be this size, and then it'll have this design on it. It'll say single flat earther. So if you are a single flat earther and you want to find other single flat earthers and you're coming to the Flattoberfest event, when you show up, we'll have this bag of buttons at the table for registration. And if you want one, you can have one. It's free. Just take it. I'm going to give them out. It's just part of the event. Okay. Because I still do have a want to help other people find their partners. So if you want to try to find your co-conspirator, you can come to Flattoberfest and ask for your single flat earther button and then put it on, and then you guys can find each other. Okay? So that's how the singles are working out this time. We're going from super secret to super in your face. Super in your face. Okay? Don't miss out on the karaoke Friday night. That's right. Flat Earth Babies 9 months later. I want to see Flat Earth Babies next year. Lots of Flat Earth Babies. All right. So there you go. And also, thank you to my Patreons. Their names are down below. I want to say thank you to everybody who supports my channel, supports my work. You guys are the freaking best. Truly, 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 truly the best. So that I just want to extend my appreciation to all you people. Everybody who's subscribed to my channel through Rockfin, everybody who does anything, everybody who buys tickets to my events. You guys are the best. You guys are what makes it possible for me to keep doing the things that I'm doing. And I would like to keep doing the things that I'm doing because I really can't think of a better way to spend my time than to try to help and promote truth and love and freedom. That's what's up. So anyways, I'll see you all back here tomorrow night with Mark for Strange World. So take care and peace, y'all. And for those who wish to send me stuff through snail mail, you can send it to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. There are also links below for Flat Earth merch, and you can send me donations. And I do appreciate all the support. Sincerely, thank you very much. Also, please go to flatearthfestivals.com for all information about upcoming Flattoberfests and Flat Earth-friendly local meetups. If you are organizing a local Flat Earth meetup, email me at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com with your meetup information to have it listed on the website for free. For everything else, you can email me at karenbfe@protonmail.com. Thank you for being